Hey guys, so today I want to talk about how we're going to use Anaconda to create environments that we can run different versions of Python. So in my case, although I'm not a data scientist, but I do definitely use computational tools for my research. And sometimes I find most of them are into a Python 3, which has no problem for me running. But sometimes, like this one called Primerize, is true, it was developed in Python 2 and it was kept that way. So in this case, because all the pimps, all the packages are corresponding for Python 3, so now I have to access the pimp for Python 2, which will be the problem. So in that case, that's when we're gonna install create uh, a virtual environment for Python 2. So in another, for some other people, maybe you have your Python 2 as your the main tool in the main version, but you want to create something that's for a Python 3 version, you can also do it in server logic. So what we're going to do is let's first test this. So I already downloaded this tool, it's called the latest over here. And the problem I was running into, so I downloaded it, it's over here in my downloads and called Primerize. So if I access that directory, Primerize. Okay, so if I do Python, so my Python, so basically, you can do Python 2, you can do Python, you can do Python 3, it all works. But in my case, my Python is the same version as my Python 3. So if I just do Python 3, uh, and as indicated over here, in the README part, it says the way to create it. So Python setup.py install. So Python setup.py install. If I enter, what I'm gonna run into is so the problem over here is you see the print format. So this is off because it doesn't have the parentheses. So it's obviously a Python 2 format. So if I do Python 2 and then run the same thing, setup.py install, and then so no module xlwt. So in that case, I have to create a virtual environment to run this. So uh, that's where Anaconda comes in. So if you don't have it, for either Mac or Windows or other systems, you can always install easily. Just go to the web and download the latest version. So if you go to my environment right now, I only have the base, the root environment here, and I'm gonna create my own. So the way you're gonna do this is you say conda create and dash dash name, and now you give the name you want to give for you. So in that case, it was root before, but now I'm gonna name this environment Python 2.7 because it's the Python 2.7 is the version I have for my Python 2, and the actual version for my Python will be Python 2.7. You hit enter, it's gonna create the environment for you. It's gonna see if you want to proceed, you can say yes. Nice. So now it has been activated. So now what we're gonna do is so right now it's doing base in my base system. And if we go to Anaconda now, um, it's updating. You can see that now you have a new environment here called py27. And if you go in there, so now you can see all the packages that has been installed in this case, which is not a lot, but that's why we need to fill this up. So now we need to go into this environment. So you do conda activate py27. So that would be the name for your environment. Now I'm in here. Says py27 is a base. So now if in this case I go to run this again, download Primerize Python 2, setup, install. Now you can see that no module name numpy. Okay, so now if I want to access my pimp, so if I go back to my directory, so I go to cd, so pimp list. Now it's referring to the pimp for Python 2. So I want to install numpy, so pimp install numpy. All right, so it's been successfully installed. And then basically, after you install all the packages you need, you can run your program over here in the virtual environment. And in some cases, you may want to have a different environment. In that case, you'll create another one with different names, or sometimes you want to delete this. So let's say I want to, so first is after you run this, I want to go get all of this environment. So how do you do that? So you do conda deactivate, and you do not need activate. You do not need to type the name because you're already in this environment. So you do that. You say you go from py27, go back to your base. And if you want to delete this environment, so you want to remove this, I'm not sure if right click works. So right click doesn't work. So that's why you need to go back to conda envir, so env, remove / name dot and the name of your environment. So you hit this, uh, then all the environment will be removed. If you go back here, it should be updating pretty soon. So that's how you create your environment to run different versions of Python for your programs. And I hope this helps. See you in the next video, guys.